Hey, this is Blake Techmeyer from GreatSense.org, and I am here to bring you episode 2 of Creator's Q. Today we're going to be taking a look again at Adobe Illustrator. Now, like I had said in the previous video, I had a lot of experience with Photoshop, but this is a new program for me, and I've been really impressed by the things that I've learned. And so I want to give you some ideas about things that I picked up along the way, and maybe if you have some questions or things that you would like to learn more about, or you've seen things on my website that you just like, how did you make that? Put it in the comments below and I'll try and make a video to explain it. So, hey, first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up Adobe Illustrator. And here's kind of just an overview of where we're going today. We're going to start off by talking about the magic wand, the lasso tool. We're going to move on to talking about the pen tool and the curvature tool. And those are going to take a ton of time. And so I'm going to show you some examples on the bottom. But let's jump into this. So first thing we're going to do here is let's go to Artboard 1. And right here we got a bunch of different shapes. In the last video we talked about the selection tools, we talked about the text tool, line segments, and we talked about shapes, and we mostly just look rectangular. I wanted to show you one more thing here real quick, and that's polygon tool. This is an awesome tool. You can make some amazing shapes. As you can see right here, there's the hexagon. Now, maybe you say to me, you don't like hexagons that much. You'd rather have an octagon. Well, you can do that. If you come over here on the right side, you're going to see these 3 little buttons. Click on that, and you can change the number of sides that are on this shape. One of the beautiful things with Adobe Illustrator is you can really edit a lot of things even after you've created them. And so we'll look a lot more at that as we go on. So, there's your octagon. Now, the reason I have all these shapes on here is I want to teach you about the magic wand tool. Now, if you're like me and you jumped on Adobe Illustrator, you get out the magic wand and you try clicking on a picture that you dropped in here and it doesn't work like you thought. It doesn't select what you thought. The magic wand here is more so being used for selecting all of the shapes that have a similar color. For example, I click on here, all the yellow shapes are selected together. Now, if you have a picture with a lot of different design in it, a lot of smaller shapes, you can edit a lot of things in just one click of a button. Now, what we're going to do here is kind of for fun, is we're going to take and select all the yellows and let's make them all blue. And let's click on all the reds, do likewise, and we'll do that with all of the shapes. It's really quick, it's a great way to do that, and it looks pretty impressive. So, now I made everything blue. Well, let's say I want to select some of these shapes. Now, if I'm selecting with just a direct select tool, it's going to take and use a square box to pick the things I want. It might grab on things I don't want. I have to come in here and click Control and then click on the different objects. There's another option. You can use the lasso tool. This is a nice tool where you can get just exactly what you want. Let's say I don't want that circle there, but I want the rest of these. Click like that, gets all of them. Let's make them yellow. Come over here. I want this, but I don't want that. Come around, get to this edge here, and let's make these ones green. And maybe here I want to take and get a few objects up here. Ooh, I might be getting that one down the bottom there. If that's the case, Shift, click, and I'm going to turn those red. And so that's the magic wand tool and the lasso tool. Pretty simple, just Adobe Illustrator just gives you a million tools to be able to select things differently, which is really nice. Well, let's move on. We're going to go to Artboard 2, and we're going to take a look at this thing called the pen tool. So on here, the pen tool is nice. It's kind of like a line segment tool that uses anchor points. And so you click, and then you can kind of move to where you want. On here, let's just make a star. So click over, over. And don't worry, when you're done, you'll be able to edit more. Now, you make your sides, and you click here, and this is where most people get thrown off, because if they click again, all of a sudden they get weird things going on. There's several things you can do. One, you can click off on a different tool, or 2, you can hit Control, and then click off, and there's your shape. Now, with that, it's a great tool for just making basic shapes that maybe aren't in the shapes tool, and so you can make all types of different shapes. One thing I want to show you with this too, which is really cool, is what makes the pen tool amazing as well, is that you can actually curve lines. So let's take and let's make an egg, for example. So if I click here, and then I come over here, I can take and I can start to pull it, and you'll see these two lines. Now, depending how far apart they are is going to affect the way the curve moves. And so smaller, the smaller curves. And one thing that Adobe Illustrator said was really important is try to not have them really finely together. It gets really difficult to do the curves that way. The more spread out you are, the more that you can have a little bit more control over that curve and where it goes. And so with this, it's really great for making shapes with different curves in them and making them look cool. And we'll just take a chance here to take and look at some different types of curves you make. Click here and click here, and if I drag, if I click and then I curve it, I come over here to the right, and then as I come right back, I make a C curve. Control click. Now if I want to take and make an S curve, control click, drag, start to make my shape like this, get an edge on it, and then I come back around this way, and I click, and I have an S-shaped curve. Lots that you can do with that. And so, what's really cool too on the same thing is you can come over here back to properties, and you can edit up the fill. You could take and take out the fill. You could make the stroke larger. There's a lot of things that you can do with that. Now, I just want to show you some examples of some things that I worked on using it on Artboard 3. I actually took in, as you notice here, all my colors are different on this face. That's not what it's supposed to look like. But one part of that is because when I was using that magic wand, it selected something on a different artboard. So sometimes you have to be really careful about that, not knowing what all you're going to select. And so, that's not quite supposed to look like. It should look more like here on the right. But I used the curvature tool and I used the pen tool to be able to make this. I gotta come back here real quick, Artboard 2. The curvature tool, what is it? Now, with the pen tool, like we said, you can draw lines and make segments, really nice. You can take and curve shapes, and you can do a mix of those two as well, which can be really nice. Now, the curvature tool is simply just made for making curves, obviously. And so you set 2 points, and then off of there, it'll help shape your curve. This can be really nice where it's a little simpler, I feel like, than just using the pen tool the whole time. And then the same thing applies here, that you can use control click to get off the object. It's a beautiful thing because you're able to really edit those objects up, and then you can come back in here and reshape them and size them. And this is going to be an awesome program to be able to make some different characters and make them look nice. So back to Artboard 3. There is an original picture that I had made a long time ago, actually in Adobe Illustrator, of myself trying to give it kind of like an 8-bit game look like. And so this is the new one that I've tried to work on. And hopefully, attached in this video, I'm using another program from Adobe called Adobe Character Animate, and that allows this person, hopefully in the bottom left or right, to be able to speak while I'm showing this. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Creators Q. Like I said, I'm going to be making more videos. I have 2 more for sure that I'm going to do on Adobe Illustrator, and I'd be glad to hear what are some other things that you would like to know more about. Come back for more. Please subscribe, share with your friends. GreatSense.org.